everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Gentleman Great Day. In this episode, we're checking out the all-new refreshed AMG GTC for the 2020 and up model years. Specifically this Roadster right here, finished in the amazing AMG Solar Beam Yellow. Now, if you're not aware of this, for the 2020 model year, Mercedes actually revised a good amount of different aspects of the AMG GT, the outgoing model. So for this here, we have brand new LED headlights and taillights. Not just that, this model is much more oriented for the street. It's the German exotic muscle car, right? With the huge hood up front and that 4-liter bi-turbo V8 sitting right behind the front axle. These cooling vents are kind of very small in proportion to the way the entire car just sits. You gotta realize this is, again, technically a mid-engine car, and let me show you that right now. And then right there, this part, I love it, says handcrafted by a Daniel Brist, I think, Mercedes-AMG Germany. As you can see, they have a new updated diffuser down below with quad exhaust pipes, so it looks very mean and sounds so good. You gotta be honest here, AMG GTs are some of the best sounding mid-engine sports cars out there. It's tuned so well with the pops and bangs and crackles. Look at this paint color right here. This is a $10,000 paint job. It's called Mercedes Solar Beam Yellow, and look at the flakes in it. It looks so good, but it is pricey. $10,000. Again, overall MSRP for this vehicle right here was $192,000. This being a Roadster, I can't wait to see how it actually sounds from the inside. Nonetheless, we have Michelin Pilot Super Sport 305 30x20s out back, and then carbon ceramic rotors. Let's go ahead and close this and hop inside. So here we go, hopping inside the AMG GT. It's really interesting because when you get inside, the door sill is up. It's pretty tall, so when you're getting inside, you be very careful with your feet to go around it, and then you start sinking directly into the AMG GT. This is by far one of the best interiors I've ever seen in a Mercedes. The entire two-tone design, all through it with the white and the white stitching and the black leather, it comes together so well. This car, it feels like a Mercedes-Benz. It feels special. It feels luxurious. The redesign isn't just with a few components on the outside, it's mainly the interior, and I bet a lot of you have already realized that right away. Brand new 10-inch display, new LCD display up front with a tachometer that is digital, and then a brand new steering wheel as well, and then all these buttons, you can't see what they do because they're all black, but they're actually screen lit, so when you turn on the car, you'll see what each one does. So this is the key right here, very similar to all the other Mercedes keys out there. Let's go and start it up. Oh wow, it sounds really good. This entire display right here, again, fully electronic, this LCD, and all the graphics look so nice and brand new. This screen right here shows two gear icons that basically mean, are you an automatic or drive? This is your toggle switch for, you know, normal or your independent custom mode, or all the way to race. Down below is your suspension setting, that being Sport, Sport Plus, then traction control on or off, which is one of my favorite settings. And then even towards the side, you have your exhaust mode selector. So for the exhaust valves, you can open or close them, and then your trunk right here towards the rear, and then your auto start and stop. All together, this car, again, it feels high tech now, especially with this display. So right now we are in race mode. It doesn't change the display that fundamentally. Basically, the colors change here and there, and the exhaust valves open up, and the suspension gets more stiff. So altogether, the entire vehicle will be comfortable on the street, I suppose, and then also be tightened up for the racetrack or tight corners. You can change your driving mode just like a Ferrari on the steering wheel, and again, it's got a digital screen right on top, so you see a checkered flag, and then spinning it left, it says S Plus, then it says S, and it changes colors with that. So S is yellow, which is Sport, Sport Plus is red, because race, right? And then race is also just plain red. To the left are the AMG dynamic settings, and then the exhaust valves. So one thing's for certain, this is a very comfortable car to be in, and it looks super nice from the outside. I want to find out how it drives. You know, let's go ahead and head into this canyon and drive behind me. I love this display though. It is really cool looking at it. It's one of the bigger LCD displays that I have seen that is completely just digital and automated. I mean, it looks really nice. In redline, what is that, 7,000 RPM? The refresh in this interior, it's nice. I think that alone brings in that price tag, because this feels very high class in here, very luxurious, especially with this steering wheel with these dotted in grips. I love it. Oh wow. Yeah, that feels good. Oh my gosh. It feels like the kind of car you want to like cruise around in, like GT style, you know? Cross country or just two mountain canyon roads. The steering feel in race mode though, it does stiffen everything up, but it's not too heavy. The steering wheel is not overly weighted, which is very, very interesting. So here we go, taking some corners pretty fast, and I gotta say this car, it is really composed in these corners. It's one of those vibes where you're not going too fast, but you're just enjoying the experience with the top down. You've got the gold paint, just shining in the sun, sparkling, and I believe it's metallic too, so it looks really nice. And then following this Ferrari Pista in front of us, that car looks so good. And this is a completely different vibe again. So getting on power, our boost gauge is building up. Wow. So I will say that the steering feel itself, it is much lighter than the McLarens and Ferraris that I've driven. It's kind of like on the same page as like a Huracan in my opinion, but with that being said, this car is not meant to be the track-focused monster the GTR is. This is a GTC, so this car is meant for you just to buy and enjoy on the street mostly, and then occasionally take it to the racetrack, and that's where I think you're gonna find the most of your enjoyment. So if we back off a tiny bit, get some space in front of us, let's try to wind out these gears and see how this thing handles. Here we go, full throttle. This gear changes. It's got this pop tuned in, which makes it very engaging. Wow. This is a Mercedes-Benz, so just everything you touch is high quality material. It's leather, fine stitching. Even this, like the steering wheel looks so cool with this like aluminum metal finish. Just glistens in the sun. And I like how they revamped all the displays, especially for like the steering wheel, because you've got these digital like instruments telling you what you're doing, race mode or loud exhaust settings, etc. So right now, yeah, this is the loudest exhaust setting, and the car itself feels much more finely tuned. It's much more well-rounded nowadays than the previous AMG GTs, and I think I'd prefer this much more over the last pre-refresh variants. Going into normal though, so comfort, and then we're just gliding over all these bumps. So you can easily drive this car to work all day long and have no worries. And the visibility again around us is perfect. I feel like I'm driving a proper Roadster right now. I love it. You buy this kind of car and you want to leave it in the sports settings, the race settings. So let's go back to that. This sounds good. Wow, these cars sound amazing. Got in the bank corner. Wow, it just soaks up all the bumps so well. I'm really impressed with how this thing is putting down the power. It's a bit heavier, so regardless, it is handling the weight and power very well in these twisted corners. I'd love to see how it feels on the racetrack. But in general though, you can see how they're making an AMG GT Black Series. Wow, those pops! Incredible! Jeez, this thing's hooked up, man. It's really hooked up. Yeah, this car just puts a smile on your face. I mean, there's nothing like having a Roadster, an open top vehicle, and especially in the Canyons like this. I think AMG does find that perfect balance between comfort and also excitement and thrill with this sports car right here. It's not, again, it's not quite AMG GTR levels of performance, but it's not what it's trying to be. This car has got its own focus. That's what the GTC is all about. And what's interesting is that the car, it's not too sharp. Sometimes in certain track cars, they can be too edgy. That means you barely turn the steering wheel and the entire car just darts one way, and it can sometimes upset the chassis, the balance of the vehicle. With this vehicle, it's not so much like that. And you can also really get into the natural fundamentals of driving a car this fast, because you can trail brake it in very easily for corners, and the entire car responds and rotates in very well. With this car, there's no loss, there's no decrease in front end grip at all, regardless of your cornering speeds through these mountains, because again, you have so much weight up there next to the front axle. However though, the one thing I'll keep in mind is your rear end. It does have wide, sticky tires in the back, but you got to realize that it's not like your typical Ferrari or McLaren. Since there's no engine back there, there's less weight. And then if you're careful with managing that weight distribution when you get on the brakes and gas, the back end will stay planted. If you're not careful, you'll start sliding the tail around and drifting, which is a really exciting thing to do, but not on the street. On the street, you want to have fun and spiritedly drive. It's so reserved on the street, it seems like, but in the corners, the whole thing, this is an AMG. This is why you buy a car like this. I'm beyond impressed with it. This car in general, I mean, it handles very neutrally. Like this layout on track, I think, would be very, very exciting to drive. In general though, with the 2020 AMG GTC, this thing, if you pick it up, I am pretty certain you're really gonna enjoy this thing, at least once you take it out to a canyon road, because the entire car, it comes alive. And don't let that badge fool you. This is definitely a very, very sporty edition AMG GT. And it's not quite the super powerful Black Series with 700 plus horsepower. That can become a handful at times. We've been dealing with that much horsepower. This is a very nice balance, just the right amount that you need for the street, where it doesn't get you in trouble right away, but you can wind out the gears and just enjoy yourself. Not just that, when you're done, put it back in automatic mode, let the turbos wind down, and then just cruise back home or go to work. This car in California, I mean, it is perfect. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed watching this episode. Please let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the AMG GTC. If you did like this video, make sure to hit that like button to help me out. Also subscribe for much more great videos coming your way. I'll see all of you in the next episode.